Hi, I'm Varsha and I welcome you all to my channel In The Buckets, and in today's video I'm going to show you 8 classics that are under 120 pages. So let's begin. The first one is Albus Camus, The Outsider or The Stranger. This book was written in French and translated into English, and this book is only 117 pages long. It's about this philosophy of existentialism in which this person doesn't believe that existence is all, that it is devoid of any meaning, any religion, any god, and that there is no afterlife, and he believes that we are born and then we live and die. That is the end of life. There is no such things as happiness or sadness. We just have to live this life and then die. And the protagonist of this book, he follows this philosophy into his lifestyle, and the society is stunned by his lifestyle and his opinions and his way of living, and he does something. He commits this folly for which he is found not guilty, and it just chronicles his tale, which is really interesting. So this book is highly recommended. The next one is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by R.L. Stevenson. This book is only 78 pages long, and it's this sci-fi book that takes place in the Victorian society of London. It's about this doctor who experiments on himself, and the experiment goes wrong, and he has this split personality. At one point he is himself Dr. Jekyll, this kind and good doctor, and sometimes he is Mr. Hyde, who is this cruel man who molests women and tortures his fellow beings. And it's this unusual book, this account of this doctor, that I think you will have an entertaining and really scoopy read. The next one is Alice's Adventure in the Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. So this book is an adventure novel, and with illustrations, this book is only 115 pages long, and I just really love these illustrations. And this book was a favorite of Queen Victoria, and so this story is about Alice, who follows this rabbit down to his hole, and she falls down his hole and discovers Wonderland. And in the Wonderland, every animal can talk: the cat, the caterpillar, the turtle, everyone. And it's just such an interesting journey that you follow Alice through the Wonderland. Next book is Daddy Longlegs by Jane Webster, and this is one of my favorite books. It's written in epistolary. That means it is written in the form of letters and diary entries. So this story is about this girl who's given in charity to study in college by Daddy Longlegs, and in return for his charity or favor on her, she has to write letters to him talking about her progress through college. And this book is only 120 pages long. The next one is a non-fiction, and this book is only 100 pages long by Virginia Woolf. This book is A Room of One's Own. So this book is actually the record of the lecture that she gave in this college about women emancipation, and she says that women can only rise in society, she can only be independent and think of herself if she has a room of her own. And she gives literary references like Shakespeare and to some literary movements, and she follows that there is this gender disparity, and that one solution she gives is that to have a room of one's own by women. The next book is The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway, and I read this book when I was 16, and I really loved this book. So it follows this plot of this fisherman, this old fisherman who is a good man, but he is kind of a failure among his other fishermen because he has not caught any fish for a while, and then he ventures into sea one day and he catches this really huge fish. The plot, the theme, this philosophical idea of this book is more important than its plot, and is just such a deeply motivating and optimistic book that I will be really glad to recommend you all this book. The next book is The Vicar of Wakefield by Oliver Goldsmith. This book was well received in its time because of its length, which is not much. It's just 102 pages long, and this book is full of adventure, villainy, to goodness of the all are recorded through the narration of this Vicar of Wakefield. I will highly recommend this book. It's really entertaining. The last but not the least is Gitanjali by Rabindranath Tagore. This is a poetry book, not a poetry collection book. It's a poetry book which is this follows this long poem that is divided into parts. This book actually won a Rabindranath Tagore Nobel Prize, and this poem is about Rabindranath Tagore communicating with his God to give him a peace of mind so he can write, and he also gives references to nature, to human nature, and it's just such a powerful and beautiful read that I will highly recommend. So these are the 8 classic books that are under 120 pages, and if you like this video, then like and share and subscribe for similar videos on classics, books, literature and poetry. And I will meet you in my next video. Till then, have a safe lockdown. Bye guys.